I like to add pockets into my little bite-sized books, so I thought I would show you how I did that. In week 5 that you've just watched the video for, I've added 2 pockets made out of the same piece of paper, which was a junk mail envelope, and these were top loading pockets, so you can see how it's this crosshatch paper here. So what it is, it's one piece of paper separated by this black piece there. Can you see that? So top loading, which are nice and easy to make. And in my mega mini book, this pink page comes across through to there, and that has a top loading pocket and a side loading pocket. So it just mixes it up a little bit. It just means that not everything, it adds extra interest to it. So not everything's coming out to the top of the book. Some of it comes from the side. So it's just a nice way to keep hold of some extra goodies, have some extra pages to play with. So I'm going to just talk you through how to make 4 pockets, 4 types of pockets. Kind of, they have the same construction method, but they're just variations. It's quite nice to see how that is done, and then a later date I might show you how to make different variations, because there's lots of options to make in pockets. Like I say, I like to use junk mail envelopes for mine because it comes through the post, and it's nice to give it a new lease of life, so it's not just going into the landfill or going into recycling. Also, if it's bank statements and things, they have to have a privacy pattern on them so that people can't read what's in your envelope. So look at that, lovely hexagons. You picking that up? Yeah. I like this one. This is just a grid pattern. That's really nice. I really like the crosshatch ones. Very nice. And there was another one. That's the crosshatchy ones. Yeah. Well, this one is like a silk pattern. So again, so it's really nice. It comes up with all kinds of patterns sometimes, and then they're different colors as well. The other thing, save the envelopes for if you get cards for your birthday, Christmas, any celebrations, because often they come in nice coloured envelopes, and it's nice to put those to one side and use in different books, junk journals and things. And also you get nice postage stamps with them. So you can see I've made this envelope, and I have punched scoop holes in the top so it's easy to get things in and out, and sealed the edges with washi tape. So we'll talk about that as well. So when you have, if you've got an envelope this size, this is kind of what we would call A5 size. It's about 23 by 16, which is 9 by 6.5 inches. You would get lots of envelopes out of this. If you think about how, pockets, lots of pockets out of this. If you think how small my little books are, so this is a pocket we're going to talk about. So because that's so tiny, you're going to get, it's going to be that size, you're going to get loads out of one envelope. I would think out of one envelope this size, you're going to get about 4 pockets, I reckon, maybe even more. The nice thing, and then this, so this is what we call a letter envelope because it's 3rd A4. You would get maybe 2 or 3 out of this. So the nice thing about using envelopes is that you already have 2 sealed edges for your pocket. So you've got the long edge and the short edge. So I've obviously torn this to get into it, but I would still be able to use it. I would just cut off the scrappy bits. But if you've got a free post envelope, so you're replying to something, and in the junk mail they give you another envelope to send back your reply, all I do is I seal up that envelope. I haven't replied to it, to the whatever it was. I've sealed up the envelope, and now I can just cut that to become a pocket. And that is the easiest way to do it. So let me just do that. So I'm going to start with what I would think of as the easiest pocket, which is this little one here. So basically what you're looking at is that is a junk. It was probably the other end of that, actually. There you go. Look, it was the other end. It was exactly the other end of that. What I would do is take one of the pages for the book I'm working on creating. So this is going to be one of those pages, and that is cut to size. So I want a pocket that is going to be roughly the same size to be in the book. So I would lay my, I'm going to call this my guide page, on top of my envelope, and get my ruler, lay my ruler on top, remove my piece of, remove my piece of paper, making sure that that's relatively straight, and tear off the excess. And I have already got a pocket, so just one long pocket, which I then fold in half, creating two pockets, and that would sit in my book like so. So you can see that is a dead simple way of making a pocket. So you don't have to seal up the center line of the pocket at all. You don't have to seal that, because putting another sheet, another page on top of it seals that. It seals it. Nothing is going to get from this side over to that side, because this page, this spotty page, is in the way. So now I've got this long pocket, I can decide what to do with it. So because this is the first pocket we're making, dead simple, I am folding my two pieces of paper together, two sides together, sorry, putting my punch on top and punching it out. And so now I have two scoops, and having scoops like that just makes it much easier to pop things in and out, because those pieces, it just gives you like a thumb hole to get hold of if you need it. So that is the simplest of pockets. So that is pocket number one. If you don't have a punch, you can just cut it with scissors. So you could do that. So that's the first pocket. And yes, I would save these little patterned pieces. They're quite cute. So they could go on the front of a page here if you wanted to. Just like little interesting bits and pieces. So that is my first pocket. Two super simple, using the end of the envelope, scooping two holes out of the top. So that's pocket number one. So we could do something similar with this. So let's do this one. So this one is very similar. So this one has a scoop out of one side and a slant on the other. So this one's going to be slightly different because it was different in its construction, whereas this was the sealed edge. But so I'm going to get two envelopes out of this. I'm going to fold that in half. There are so many variations. As soon as you cut up an envelope, you're just like, oh, you could do X, Y, and Z. And there we are. So I have two pockets. So I can cut that fold with a pair of scissors, or I could tear it with my ruler. Let's do it that way so I can see it better. Or I could cut it with a paper trimmer. So now I have basically that. So I need to seal up one of my edges. So let's do that. So to do that, I am just going to use washi tape. So I lay that on one side, fold it over, and seal it shut on the other side, and cut off the excess. So that is another pocket sealed in a different way, and I'm going to punch a hole in one side, punch a scoop in one side, and on this opposing page snip a corner off. And that just means that I can then, it's just another way of being able to easily get to your goodies that are inside your envelope. So this was the only way, excuse me, the only way this was different in the construction was because on this variation here, the sides were open. So I've sealed them with washi tape. On this version, the bottom was open, so I've sealed it with washi tape. But we end up with exactly the same. So it's just two variations of creating the same pocket. So there's those two, smooth that out of the way. With this one, again, I've used the corner of the pocket, the corner of the envelope. So I have a corner of an envelope here. I've folded it in half. So I have two open sides. So what I want to do on this one, we're going to make this one. I want to put a top opener here and a side opener here. So what I need to do is I need to seal up this top edge. So we'll use washi tape again. So just sealing up that top edge. Whoops. I'm folding it over, and only because I don't want that tape to be visible on the first page, I'm just going to tear that off and then cut that off. And so because I have a top opener, scoop that out, and a side opener, scoop that out. You've got your two pockets, one at the side and oops, it's alive, and one at the top. Nice easy way, and it's just interesting that you've got a side opener and a top opener. So this is the last pocket I'm going to show you how to make, and it has pages that are different heights, which again is another way of being able to easily remove things. And it's using one piece of paper. So here's my guide sheet. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to lay my guide sheet overlapping the edge. So you can see there's my substrate sheet is lower down. And now I'm going to fold that up, crease it, remove that and lay that down. And now when I cut it, can you see how that first sheet piece that I folded is shorter? So now I can just lay that in place. And I have pieces of paper that are different heights. So when I fold that in half, and it's quite nice because it's got that funky orange print on the background, nice words. There we go. So that's created different things. Let's just snip off of that niggly bit. And again, we're going to seal the edge with washi tape. What colour should we go for this time? Let's go for this one. So when I seal this, I'm only taking up to the top of that first layer. Because if it goes any more, it will create a barrier when you open that. There you go. So that is pockets with different height pages. Also, because then that just adds visual interest to your page. So there we are, 4 variations on pockets, different size, different height pages, side opening, top opening. top opening and a slant. Let's use that one. And simple top opening. Let's get those to lay flat. So 4 different types. So if you wanted to see, obviously if you wanted to see more of this, the privacy pattern, you would just you would just open all the sides of your envelope, turn it inside out and use the other side. You construct it in exactly the same way. So I hope that's been useful, and now you can add little pockets to your books for all sorts of little treasures that you want to include.